As you could see in our video, the Healy is a smart and versatile high-tech device designed to harmonize your bioenergetic field. It empowers people to live a more conscious life full of balance, coherence, confidence and comfort through the use of microcurrent frequencies. So let's get to the most interesting portion of our event. It is my pleasure to introduce our first guest, Ruth Tong. Ruth is a highly esteemed London nutritionist, employee well-being consultant and renowned wellness speaker. But her roles do not end there. She is also a health content creator and Stott Pilates instructor who runs wellness retreats globally. Ruth has a truly inspiring story. Her passion for health and fitness stems from her background in dance and movement, and her philosophy of kind and compassionate health emphasizes the importance of going beyond a healthy lifestyle that is enjoyable and social. Her approach is centered around sustainability, personalization, and the absence of strict rules or shame. Unlike the popular belief of no pain, no gain, her approach is in fact about what feels good for the individual. We are delighted to have Ruth join us today all the way from London. She is enthusiastic to share her valuable tips on how nutrition, hydration and sleep can support our overall happiness and well-being.
Hi, I'm Ruth Tong, nutritionist and wellbeing expert, and I'm super excited to be part of this Healy event today. Today, I would love to share 3 of my top tips for optimizing your sleep, feeling more energized throughout the day, and essentially living a happier and healthier life. So my first tip is to eat more plant foods. And one of the main reasons for this is because we know that plant foods are high in fiber. And we've learned so much about the positive effects of fiber for our immediate and future health. And one of the impacts of fiber is that it can help to support our microbiome. Now, looking at our microbiome is a fairly new side of science, and every day we're learning more and more about the impact that having a diverse microbiome can have on our health. And when we're talking about our microbiome, we're talking about things like bacteria, fungi, parasites, and even viruses. And you might think, oh, I don't know if I want them in my body, but we're learning that they're essential for our health, not just our physical health, but also our mental health. And the most important thing is having a diverse microbiome. And we're seeing that fiber, having a high intake of fiber, can really help to support our microbiome. And we've seen from population studies that populations who have higher intakes of fiber do have a naturally more diverse microbiome. And this is being linked to our mental and our physical well-being. And plant foods, eating a diet that's high in plant foods and varied, so having lots of different types of plant foods, can help to support our microbiome by essentially feeding it. So it's helping it to multiply and to stay strong. And the recommendation is that we aim for 30 different plant foods a week, which might seem like a lot, but actually when you break that down, it's just over 4 a day. So it's actually quite achievable. Although if that seems like it's perhaps a step too far at the moment, I would recommend that perhaps you set yourself a more achievable goal of perhaps 2 to 3 different types of plant food a day. And that doesn't necessarily mean fruit and vegetables. It also includes spices and herbs. Coffee is a plant food, believe it or not. So you could potentially hit your target fairly easily. My second tip would be to reduce the intake of what we call ultra-processed foods, or UPFs. Now, these are foods that have gone through a lot of processing and are things like takeouts, chips, cookies, snack bars, all of our microwave meals, our frozen meals, all of those convenience foods that we grab on the go. Perhaps it's a cereal bar here and a salty bag of something there. And these types of foods are really far removed from the type of whole food that you would find in the natural environment. And they tend to have more than 5 ingredients, and they tend to have added preservatives, sweeteners, sugar, fat, all to get that kind of really tasty sensation. But unfortunately, what we know is, as much as they might taste delicious, they do have a negative impact on our health. And we've seen from, again, population studies that populations in which people have high intakes of ultra-processed foods do tend to have less good health outcomes. So let's kind of flip this on its head, and instead of thinking, okay, let's cut back on loads of things, let's really try and cut all of those ultra-processed foods out of our diet. Why don't we try and flip that and try and aim for those whole foods again? So simply by aiming for more of your plant foods, you're naturally going to be hopefully cutting back on some of those ultra processed foods. And I'm not saying, never have them, because as I said, they are tasty and they are convenient a lot of the time. But if we can aim for the majority of our diet to be coming from those whole foods that are recognizable, the types of foods that we would find in nature, that would be much better for our physical and our mental well-being. And then my final tip is related to hydration. Now, we know that every cellular reaction in the body needs water. We as animals need water to survive and to thrive. And our bodies are made up of around 70% water. So if we don't have enough water, our bodies will not be working optimally. And that may affect things like energy levels and sleep and our digestion and our mood. So many things that lack of water can affect. Now, how much should we be aiming for? Well, the recommendation is to have 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day, which might look like about 8 cups of water. Ideally, I always recommend that it's plain water, although the recommendations say you can include some caffeinated drinks or some squash or juice in there. But really, if we're thinking about overall health, plain water is brilliant. Not only is it free, so it's not going to affect our financial well-being, but it's also free in calories, and it's got no additives and no artificial extras. So I would recommend that we try to aim for the majority of that intake of liquid to come from plain or fizzy water. And then, if you have a cup of coffee and a fruit squash here and there, no big deal. And one of the best ways to see if we're hydrated is to get used to checking your urine, and it should be a pale yellow colour. Anything that's too dark suggests that perhaps you need to be drinking a bit more. And one other top tip there is to try and sip throughout the day. Otherwise, you will find if you're trying to get, your litre or 1.5 litres of water in at the start of the day or the end of the day, you're just going to be rushing to the loo. So try to drink it steadily throughout the day. So to recap on my top 3 tips, my first one would be eating more plant foods. So aiming for that magic number of 30 different plant foods a day. And if you're not sure, why not try keeping a food journal and start to tally up, perhaps for 3-4 days, how many different types of plant food you're getting. My second tip is to cut back on those ultra processed foods and aim on getting those whole foods in your diet. And then my third and final tip is to really start to boost your hydration and start to monitor again. Maybe you keep a little tally, and I know that Healy can help with that. So hopefully that helps, and I really hope that you are able to take on some of those tips. Remember, start small. Let's go for building up those healthy habits, and you'll soon start to reap the rewards. Thank you very much, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. In just 10 minutes, you have provided us with a wealth of valuable tips on nutrition and hydration. If we eat better, we feel better. If we are hydrated enough, not only do we feel better, but we are also energized. Another component to consider is sleep. Getting enough of it is equally as important as getting good quality sleep. Optimal holistic health requires an integrated approach that considers all aspects of our lives. And while preparing for today's live stream, I searched for a good definition of holistic health. And St. Catherine's University's definition stood out to me. Holistic health is an approach to wellness that simultaneously addresses the physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual components of health. The term holism refers to the theory that all parts of a whole are intimately interconnected. According to holism, from the Greek holo, meaning the whole, it is not recommended to just study one part or even multiple parts separately if we truly want to understand how they work together. And this is why we at Healy World perceive sleep, nutrition, and hydration as a holistic concept and address them as crucial components of a balanced lifestyle. Before we welcome our next guest, we want to highlight the interconnectivity of our products. Our latest innovation, a product that perfectly connects and complements our Healy. Can you guess which product I'm referring to? Here is a clue. We launched it last year and it involves the use of magnetic field. Let us know in the chat if you figured out the answer. Exactly, it is Healy. Healy is a unique product that complements the original Healy. While Healy focuses on promoting internal well-being by harmonizing the bioenergetic field of an individual, Healy addresses the external surrounding through a pulsating magnetic field. When used together, they create a powerful synergy, like an orchestra performing a frequency symphony. And now I would like to introduce someone who played an essential role in the creation of this Healy innovation. Our next guest is the incredible Shamnam Halper. As our product expert and an inspiring mentor, she was instrumental to Healy development, and today she will share with us how and why the Healy and Healy complement each other perfectly in a holistic health lifestyle. She will also share the motivation behind this newest product and provide practical tips on how to incorporate both devices into our daily lives. Shamnam, welcome! We are happy to have you here and eager to hear and learn from your expertise.
Thank you, Ruth and Martina, for your beautiful words. And welcome everyone to this New Horizons. And as we all know, how important is these three topics of sleep, nutrition, and hydration. And we all know those days that we are somewhere, maybe outside, forgot to take some water with us, and it's so difficult to find any place to get any water to get hydrated in hot summer days. We know how difficult that could be. And when it comes to nutrition, practical example that I believe many of us have the experience is that eating late, for example, and we know what the consequences are, especially little order that one gets, that, okay, it's the body gives a signal that is happy or unhappy with our different activities. And we all also know that some nights, if we have not very restful sleep, how this impacts our day, how it impacts the quality of the day we are spending. So actually, the Healy and Healy both were developed to help us and assist us in our daily routine of wellness and well-being. How is it so? With different application applied in that, we have been trying to give a small personal assistant that you can carry everywhere with you. Is like a wellness assistant, so to say. And so it's not so big, it's easy to carry it, and also gives a varieties of possibilities to do. When it comes to topic of hydration, we know that we have the hydration programs, the water harmonizing programs in Healy. But now I'm speaking about Healy. Some of you who are not familiar with Healy may ask, so what is it at all? What is it doing? So to make it simple, Healy is a pulsed electromagnetic field, or in other words, PEMF is a term that can be used for this. This device has a frequency generator, microcurrent frequency generator, and also a converter which takes the frequencies, those frequencies, and then converts them to pulse electromagnetic fields. And this is not something new. It has been used in medicine, medical field, and many different fields already since many, many years. And what is unique and so to say, we are so happy to share it with everyone is that to have a wellness device that brings many possibilities to many people. So as I just mentioned, that one of the possibilities to have is the water activation programs. We have 2 program groups that there are different water programs available. Like just now, currently, I before I started to this session, I did the water activation for mental clarity. So to hopefully give you something inspiring and to take with you. From other side, it might be interesting for you to know that Healy has the technical possibility to create programs, or so to say, applications which are single channel frequencies. This is a little bit technical for those of us who like to know a little bit more about the technical side of it, and also gives the possibility to have the dual channel programs. For example, our program groups of McMakin, all of them are using this possibility of dual channel. So now let's get practical. We have been speaking about hydration and nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, you may ask, okay, is there any program we could use? Well, the program which I like to use, which is also related to nutrition, is digestion harmony. So sometimes when I feel that the bioenergetic field of my body needs a little bit boost, and I would like to support that, I run the digestive program, or digestion harmony, actually it's called. And so on a practical note, of course, we have sleep programs. They have 2 different sleep programs. In classical category and also in McMakin category, we have these 2 possibilities of the sleep programs. It gives you the possibility to try and see which one works better for you. And when it comes to evening and sleep, one program which I like to use very much by the end of the day is the Vagus program. That's helped me to get through the hectic days, to little bit try to calm down and get ready for the sleep. The sleep program, you can use it before going to bed, or if you like, you can go with Mike Healy even to bed, or you can place it close to bed where you are situated. And also in the working space during the day, you can of course keep it wherever you are. And as I have it now with me, you can keep it close to yourself and run whatever programs you like at that moment to run. But what I would not recommend is, for example, when you have a meeting or you have a daily activities, please don't run the sleep program. That would not be so efficient because obviously sleep programs is for the time you would like to prepare, to rest, and not for the active time of the day. Same wise, programs which are might be a little bit stimulating or energy, I personally don't use them in the evening because I want to help my body and the bioenergetic field of my body to calm down. So these are the things to consider. And of course, keep hydrated. Thank you very much. And get back to you, Martina.
Thank you, Shamnam, for your inspiring insights and for helping us dig deeper into the highlights of our products. As a fitting conclusion to our lineup of super strong female speakers for today's